What's up, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing I want to talk about today is what appears to be our now new segment, Daily Airline News. And today it wasn't about someone getting kicked off of a flight. It wasn't security beating and dragging a man through the aisles. Instead, no, it goes back to the good old days where the only kind of airlines news we got were passengers fighting passengers. This time coming from Burbank, California. It was a Southwest flight coming from Dallas. The plane was taxiing. A passenger said he heard a commotion and he whipped out his cell phone and this happened.
Stop it off! Stop it! What is wrong with you? Get off! Stop it!
Excuse me, I'm watching. Get out of the way. Do something. That's it. Move.
So as of right now, we don't know why they were fighting. We do know that one man was allowed to continue on his way. The other was arrested. That for misdemeanor battery. But two questions I have. One, why fight when you're getting off the plane? And two, what was the guy in the blue shirt doing? He looked like he was trying to stop the fight, but doing it by tapping him on the shoulder like, "Sir, could you please stop pummeling that man? What if I give you a little shoulder rub?" And that's not me trying to act macho like I would have stopped that fight, no problem. No, I think most of us at one point have seen a fight take place, someone tries to stop it, and it's that person that gets knocked out. I'm not jumping into the middle of that, but it looked like blue shirt did the fighting equivalent of when a group of people are lifting a piece of furniture and they're not really lifting. They just have their hands there like, I'm doing my part. The main point of the story is, who knew that something like this could happen on a Southwest flight? Then in quickie news that's going to make a few relationships a little more awkward now, a new research paper has come out and the scientists involved say that if you are stung by a jellyfish, no, you should not pee on it. The sting, not the jellyfish. Or actually, maybe for emotional morale reasons, pee on the jellyfish, as long as it's not like a sex thing. I don't know your state laws. Stay on track, DeFranco. The report says, best case scenario, pee will act as a neutral solution that just moves the tentacles around. But urine doesn't have a consistent chemical makeup. Depending on various factors, such as whether a person is dehydrated and what they've eaten that day, urine might actually contain chemical compounds that trigger stinging cells to fire. It can cause massive stinging. So what they actually recommend you do is if you are going to the beach, bring vinegar with you. Douse the area with vinegar, pull out the tentacles with tweezers, and apply heat. And of course, optional step number 4, pee on the jellyfish to show your dominance. So there you go. You learned a life lesson, which statistically, with how many people watch this show, would be helpful for several of you. Although, for being honest, the way it most likely will affect you is you're gonna get stung by a jellyfish and you're gonna be like, oh wait, I didn't bring vinegar to the beach because I wasn't feeling like a beach salad. But also, let's avoid that weird moment where you pee on my leg. So there's that. Then, in pointless celebrity news that has blown up, but I'm gonna talk about it because it is hilarious to me. Shad Moss, or as you might know him if you're old enough to remember TRL with Carson Daly, Lil Bow Wow, he's in the news today because it looks like he got exposed for being a faker. He posted this picture with the caption, "Travel Day, New York City press run for growing up hip hop. Let's go, I promise to bring you all the hottest show ever." And then someone Snapchat Lil Bow Wow on their flight, saying, so this guy Lil Bow Wow is on my flight to New York. But on Instagram, he posted a picture of a private jet caption, "Traveling to New York today." Shake my head. What? A guy that has 3.2 million Twitter followers, but somehow only gets 10 to 40 retweets on each post is faking? I am shocked. And then the internet did two things that it does best. The first being they researched and found where this picture was from. It's from a VIP transportation website. The only difference is it doesn't have a filter on it. And secondly, what felt like almost the entirety of the internet proceeded to make fun of Lil Bow Wow, even launching the hashtag Bow Wow Challenge, where people just show off their life being awesome, even though it's very obviously fake. And I share this story because yes, I do love when fakers get caught, but also use this as a reminder that when you look at something online, you are not seeing real life. You are not seeing the painter or their real life, you are seeing their painting. Sometimes it's exaggerated and other times it's just an outright lie, and it's important to remember that. But from there, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome brought to you by Phil.ting.com. Ting, of course, the fantastic pay what you actually use cell service. No hidden fees, no sketchy charges, no stupid plans, just pay for what you actually use. That's why Ting customers on average spend just $26 a month for their one device. So if you want to check it out, maybe make the smart move like many from the nation already have, go to Phil.ting.com. And the first bit of awesome is actually self-promo awesome. If you're not subscribed to youtube.com/PhillyD and you want to see the behind the scenes, do it. Monday I posted a studio reveal. Today I posted a Q&A where we're talking about everything that we're building up. If you're interested in that, fantastic, go check it out, subscribe. If not, then just disregard what I just said. It's as simple as that. Then one of my favorite consistent series on YouTube, Honest Trailers, came out with Shifty Fades Darker. 50 Shades Darker. I love how they rip apart good and bad movies. Then we got a brand new trailer for Cars 3, and I am not ashamed. I am excited for this movie. Having a child has made me appreciate Pixar movies on a whole different level. A little guy's entertained for 90 minutes, I'm laughing, also it's Pixar, I'm crying. Granted, I judge my son a little because his favorite character is Mater. To each their own. Then we had the slow-mo guys in 4K jumping into a trampoline filled with a whole lot of mousetraps. And I say a whole lot of because the title says 1,000, but people with way too much time on their hands counted them all and said that it's 823. The main point, the slow-mo guys and Gavin Free, the liars, they're fake news, and I'm joking. It's a cool video. Then, and awesome for those of you that love The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, they had a big reunion. Colbert got a bunch of the old crew to come on The Late Show, and if you were a fan, you're gonna love it. And if you want to see the full versions of everything, I just shared the secret link of the day. Anything at all. Links, as always, are in the description down below. And then let's talk about James Comey, the FBI director, or I guess now former FBI director, being fired by President Donald Trump. And before we jump into this, I was shocked by this news. Not the fact that it happened, but the timing of it. After election night, everyone knew that Donald Trump was going to be the president. I figured one of the first things that Donald Trump was going to do was fire Comey. And so now for me, it's the timing that's surprising, but we'll jump into that in a minute. And while I was surprised by this news, the person that was probably the most shocked was James Comey himself. Reports came out that James Comey found out he was being fired while he was giving a speech in the LA FBI office because there were TVs on in the background that were reporting it as news. That's how he found out. The report also says that when he saw it, Comey laughed because he thought it was a prank. The report then saying, then his staff started scurrying around in the background and told Mr. Comey that he should step into a nearby office. Mr. Comey stopped addressing the group. He proceeded to shake hands with the employees he had been speaking to. Then he stepped into a side office where he confirmed that he had been fired. At that point, he had not heard from the White House. Now, as far as why FBI Director Comey was fired, let's first look at what Donald Trump said. In Trump's letter to Comey, he wrote, "Dear Director Comey, I have received the attached letters from the Attorney General and Deputy Attorney General of the United States recommending your dismissal as the Director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. I have accepted the recommendation and you are hereby terminated and removed from office effective immediately. While I greatly appreciate you informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of the Department of Justice that you are not able to effectively lead the Bureau." Now, to me, there are 2 things of note there. The first I'll touch is the second paragraph. I greatly appreciate that on 3 separate occasions you said I was innocent. I'm paraphrasing, but that's the sense you get from it. It's like if you had a girlfriend and you're a little bitch, so you had to break up with her in a letter. And you wrote, "Dear Leslie, while I greatly appreciate that you said that I am very faithful, I'm the best lover you've ever had, and I have the largest penis you have ever seen on multiple occasions, I nevertheless concur with the judgment of my friends Jeff and Robbie that you're a big bitch and we can't have you in the friend group." The entire time people are going to be like, why is he mentioning the size of his penis in this? There's something about the inclusion that makes me think he doesn't have a large penis. It's weird. And then the second thing of note to me comes from the first paragraph of Donald Trump's letter, where he says, "I'm doing this because it was recommended by the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General." So then we look at the letters sent from the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions, to Donald Trump. He writes, "Based on my evaluation and for the reasons expressed by the Deputy Attorney General in the attached memorandum, I have concluded that a fresh start is needed at the leadership of the FBI. The Director of the FBI must be someone who follows faithfully the rules and principles of the Department of Justice and who sets the right example for our law enforcement officials and others in the department." So he kind of says something, but it's not specific, and so then we go to the Deputy Attorney General. And so then we look at Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein's letter to the Attorney General, Jeff Sessions. And it appears that the biggest reason for the recommendation to remove James Comey was how he handled the Hillary Clinton email scandal. Rosenstein writes, "I cannot defend the Director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation of Secretary Clinton's emails, and I do not understand his refusal to accept the near universal judgment that he was mistaken. The Director was wrong to usurp the Attorney General's authority on July 5th, 2016 and announce his conclusion that the case should be closed without prosecution. It is not the function of the Director to make such an announcement. At most, the Director should have said the FBI had completed its investigation and presented its findings to federal prosecutors. Compounding the error, the Director ignored another long-standing principle. We do not hold press conferences to release derogatory information about the subject of a declined criminal investigation. Derogatory information sometimes is disclosed in the course of criminal investigations and prosecutions, but we never release it gratuitously." This referencing Comey's letter to Congress where they said we found more emails. It was connected to Anthony Weiner. It may have been Hillary Clinton's ultimate undoing. And even though a few days later Director Comey said the FBI has not changed its conclusion, there was still a noticeable shift in the polls. That's why even before the election I said this. And this appears to be one of the biggest reasons why many of the battleground states are as close as they are now. One day our children may look back into a history book and see October 28th, 2016 is the day the FBI delivered the election to Donald J. Trump. So to oversimplify, Trump said, I appreciate you saying that you're not investigating me 3 times, but my AG and my DAG, they recommend to get rid of you. Attorney General Jeff Sessions says, I agree with my DAG, and the Deputy Attorney General cites how the Hillary Clinton email situation was handled. And once again, at this point, I'll say I'm not surprised that he was fired, but I am surprised that it happened now. Because if it happened in the beginning or right after Jeff Sessions was made Attorney General, then okay, then they had a game plan. But now, because of the timing, you have a lot of people concerned because the director of the FBI, an organization that was looking into the Russian ties in this last election, looking into potential Russian hacking, Russian manipulation, Russian ties to maybe not Donald Trump, but people who now work for Donald Trump. And so the man who is the head of this organization that was pushing forward into this investigation was fired based off of the recommendation from the Attorney General, who is a man who also had to recuse himself in matters of Russian inquiry. As an outsider looking in, that looks so sketchy, and I say that as someone that said, yes, I think Michael Flynn 100% did wrong, but also as someone that gave Jeff Sessions the benefit of the doubt when all those Democrats were saying that he lied under oath. I noted that that could have been a gray area because he said he didn't work with the Russians, and then people said, look, he had a meeting with a Russian, but he said he wasn't referring to that because it was non-Trump related, that he had that meeting because of a role he had on a committee. It is still sketchy to me. And all of this is reportedly happening the same time that we're seeing headlines like grand jury subpoenas issued in FBI's Russia investigation. And the reports were saying that these subpoenas were issued before all of a sudden James Comey was suddenly fired. Once again, that's my personal takeaway. So this whole story blows up yesterday. There are a lot of people that are shocked that this is happening. There are a lot of people cheering, saying, yeah, drain the swamp. And then in the early hours of the morning, President Donald Trump took to Twitter to say a few things, saying the Democrats have said some of the worst things about James Comey, including the fact that he should be fired, but now they play so sad. James Comey will be replaced by someone who will do a far better job, bringing back the spirit and prestige of the FBI. Comey lost the confidence of almost everyone in Washington, Republican and Democrat alike. When things calm down, they will be thanking me. And the first thing I'll say to Trump's claim that the Democrats wanted to get rid of Comey, yes. Nancy Pelosi said maybe he's not in the right job.
I think he made a mistake on this, and he clearly has a double standard when it comes to Donald Trump.
Democrat Steve Cohen saying, I called on FBI Director James Comey to resign his position. Representative Maxine Waters, the FBI Director has no credibility.
All I can tell you is the FBI Director has no credibility.
And even Chuck Schumer said, I do not have confidence in him any longer. Even Senator Harry Reid saying he should resign.
Do you believe that Jim Comey should resign, Senator Reid?
Of course, yes.
And
but he won't. He won't. He has a term there, and I'm sure he's got the new administration guy. They should like him. He helped him get elected.
But what I say to that is, while some of them may still be hypocrites, or at the very least they've now flip-flopped, the situation now is far different. What's interesting with the situation with Comey is so many people believe that he is partisan, but for one way or the other. But his actions have actually hurt Democrats and Republicans. Before the election, there were a lot of Trump supporters that bashed Comey because they said he was protecting her. But then you also had a lot of Hillary supporters bashing Comey because he kept talking about these emails, the press conferences, the extra letter to Congress. And now, separate from that, post-election, he's talking about Russian involvement in the election. So do I think partisan politics affected what James Comey did? No, I don't. Do I think that there was a reasonable argument to fire James Comey? Yes. But do I think that Donald Trump praising Comey for some of his actions pre-election and now post-election when he's the president and James Comey is looking to the Russia stuff after several months, now is the time he fires Comey? Is that sketchy? Yes. And for me personally, I'm just fascinated to see what happens. Who's going to be presented as Comey's replacement? That should be very telling about this administration. Also, we're seeing Democrats and even some Republicans calling for an independent investigator into the Russian scandal. And fantastically awkward enough, Donald Trump met with Russian Ambassador Kislyak today. We got the pictures of it because the Russian Foreign Ministry posted them. And for those who haven't been following this whole Russian investigation, Kislyak is at the center of it with Michael Flynn and others. Also, Russian Foreign Minister Lavrov had people squinting at his reaction to a Comey question.
Does the Comey firing cast a shadow of your talk, gentlemen?
Was he fired? You're kidding. You're kidding.
So that's where we are right now. And of course, this is the Philip DeFranco Show. It's not just a show, it is a conversation. Shown you the story, I've given my opinion. I want to know yours now. What do you think about the firing of James Comey? Are you for it, against it? Do you find the timing sketchy, or no, better late than never? Love to know what you're thinking in those comments down below. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I try and do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Also, if you missed and want to catch up on yesterday's Philip DeFranco Show, you can click or tap right there to watch that. If you want to see today's brand new vlog, which is a Q&A video about everything we're doing, you can click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.